I'm so hungry. Hey guys, it's gonna be a different video today. I'm just really upset. I'm gonna drink some water because, as you could probably tell, I'm pretty upset. Um, okay, I'm fine. Oh my god, look at that. That's grim. So yeah, I'm upset because my parents have told me to move out of my house, and I found it really upsetting because they did that to me once before when I was like 18 and going on to 19, and they kicked me out of the house when I was studying at university first year, and they told me to leave the house because I was coming home like from the library very late. That was one of the reasons why, weirdly enough, I filmed myself studying because my parents just wouldn't believe that I was studying so much, and they would just be like, "Oh, you're going out partying," or like they would say that I was not. They would say that I wasn't studying, and so I wanted some sort of proof that I was studying, and then there was this opportunity that I came across that you can actually film. And so I used to record myself just studying to like prove to my family if they ever said I wasn't studying that I actually was, because I had video proof of me studying the whole time in the library. So yeah, so they kicked me out initially because they didn't believe that I was studying in the library for so long, because I would come home at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock or something. And yeah, um so yeah, and I know it's not like a big deal, but yeah. Anyway, so I'd be coming home really late because I was studying so much, and they would say like things like that I wasn't, which isn't true. And they kicked out of my house. They told me they didn't want to see me again. They were causing me a lot of problems at home, and that's why I couldn't study at home. And this is why I was studying in the library, because it just gave me like it gave me a peace of mind when I was at the library. It just was a place where like people couldn't say anything to make me sad or they couldn't affect me. So I spent a lot of time in the library. Um, because that was my safe place. Like I felt safe there. Like no one could say anything to hurt me, or no one could do anything to, I don't know, to make me sad. Like at home, like whenever I would study, they would like ask me to like clean or do things, and it would be really disturbing because I just want to study, just be left alone. So yeah, so they kicked me out first year, and it was quite difficult because I didn't have any money, and so like I was really struggling. I was couch surfing for like a little while, which was not great. Being homeless and not having like a place to sleep is really difficult, and not feeling safe to go back home, or like feeling like you're not wanted is quite difficult. Um, yeah, it's just the feeling of feeling like, I don't know, home just didn't feel like home anymore, I guess. Um, and then they asked me to leave, so I was like, okay, fine. Well, I can't go back home because they've like told me to leave. Um, and they never called me or anything. Um, I don't know. They didn't really make an effort. They just told me to leave the house, and then I just did what they asked me to do, which was leave the house. I'm so like heartbroken. So oh god, it's so grim. Oh dear. Okay, so so yeah, that's why that's why I started. I know it's like really weird, but yeah, so they kicked me out of the house. There was a lot of issues that went on. Somehow, like university just found out about these issues and struggles. How did they find out? Because I was running out of all my savings because I was just couch surfing, and like I just was looking for like, I didn't know what to do. Like I just didn't have the skill sets to know what to do in that situation, I guess. So I was still like studying in the library a lot, and that's was basically homeless. And because my parents were like, you can't come back to the house, so I just didn't know where to go. And then for some reason they like called the police on me one time, and then called me crazy for studying. Like I just don't understand. So one time I was like writing my essay because it was due like the next day, and they actually like called the police on me, saying that I was crazy and that I was studying so late and I must be crazy because I have deadlines to do and studying so late. And the police came in being like, this is absolutely normal. I think that you have an issue that you need to discuss. And then that was the first time they've ever called the police on me. Um, yeah. Anyway, and one other time, like I called the police because I just didn't feel safe at home because they were like very abusive towards me. And so yeah, then I'd like left to go and live in halls. Um, no, they kicked me out. I was homeless for a bit, and then the university found out because my parents didn't even message me or call me or like attempt to call me. I don't know. And then they put me on a missing list. Like the police was really worried about my health and well-being. So they put me on a missing list when I wasn't missing. I was just kicked out of my house. And then the university, so then the police went to the university as part of their investigation, and then gotten to know that I wasn't missing and that I was actually at university in the library studying, but like not going home, I guess. And then university found out that I didn't have a home to go to, and my parents kicked me out and the situation at home. So they gave me like emergency accommodation at university, but it cost a lot of money, and like basically I had to use all my savings that I'd saved up during the summer working to basically just have an accommodation. And then I ran out of money because I wasn't working and I was studying full time, and I didn't have a job at that point because I was like 18, 19. And my parents didn't give me a dime towards the helping to help me at university at all. Like I really struggled at university, and because of that, I actually failed my first year exams because of everything that went on. Because it was so stressful at home, and they created such a toxic environment for me in first year of my university experience. Um, So yeah, I became very depressed and sad, like, in first year. Um, and I kind of spiraled, I guess, as people would say. Um, and then, yeah, and then I ran out of money and I literally was becoming homeless. And so the university threatened to kick me out of my course in biomedical science if I didn't find somewhere to live, because they were like, you can't study biomedical science and be homeless. So the university threatened to like kick me out. And so then they called a meeting with my parents, being like, we're going to kick her out if you don't take her back home or like give her accommodation, because she literally can't afford, she doesn't have any money, she can't afford it. And I didn't get any grants or anything. And I wasn't eligible to get any grants, I guess. And so my parents agreed to take me home after the university told them that they'd kick me off the course if I was homeless and I didn't have like a place to live. But I was very angry at what they put me through and the fact that like it has caused me like to fail my exams. Um, in first year, I was really angry towards them for like being so like horrible to me, I guess, and not like understanding or talking to me like a normal human being. Like I think my parents were like messed up people, but anyway, so yeah, so that happened, and I came back to live with my parents after they kicked me out when I was like 18, 19, because I was like, um, yeah, because well, I would be homeless and I would be kicked off the course otherwise. So they took me back home. I came back home, but I was really depressed. I didn't talk to my parents. I just stayed in my room for like the whole summer, like crying because I was just really upset. They didn't even like talk to me, like they didn't ask me if I was okay. But I was literally depressed all throughout that summer. And it's so hard to talk about. But yeah, I was really depressed through that whole summer and I would stay. This was my bedroom. I've had this bedroom since I was like 12. But yeah, I was like depressed here. So depressed. Um, all throughout summer, like I didn't even leave. Like I was just so depressed. Absolutely. Like I've never been so depressed in my life. Like I just didn't wanna like I just didn't wanna like live anymore. Like it just felt like I don't know. Because I don't know, you like think about parents and you want them to be like the people who are there for you, you know, the people who like love you the most. And I just didn't feel loved by them. I have like the most oddest relationship with my parents. Like as a child, I did not grow up with my mom or dad. My mum and dad had to work, so that I lived with an auntie and their kids. So I lived with my mum's aunt and their kids. So my whole childhood, I'd have like literally no memories of my mother, and it's just been like me and this other family. Um, so yeah, it's just been me and my other family, and I like grew up thinking that I was. I don't know. I always felt like I was like adopted into this family, but like I felt like they were my family. I felt loved there. And you know, I so my memories as a child is growing up with this whole entire different family where I had like Amachi, which is like a mother figure, and then I had like a sister and like two older brothers and an older sister, but they were not my biological brothers or sisters. And my parents basically to work and earn money and not have me as a distraction, like just gave them money to look after me, I guess, because they weren't able to look after me. And then at the age of 6, like, yeah, So at the age of 6, they brought me to England from India, but yeah, I was basically torn away from my family, and even though my mum and dad are my biological parents, in my head, that was my family, and they just, like, tore me away from them. I couldn't phone them at all, and they just put me in England. I didn't even speak English, like, it was so horrible, like, so yeah, I grew up thinking that I have this family, and then all of a sudden, 2 random people that I'm called mum and dad come along, and then they just, like, take me from India and then put me on an aeroplane, and then I get to England, and I don't even speak English, and I have to live with 2 people that literally know nothing about me, like, they don't know what I like, they don't know how to take care of a fucking child, like, I don't know, and it was horrible, like, literally horrible. And I was depressed as like a 6-year-old kid, not being able to call my family at home and being with these 2 parents of mine that like literally knew nothing about me. And then being in a country where I can't even speak to anyone. Like I couldn't speak English, so I couldn't speak to anyone in school. I literally had like no friends growing up because I couldn't speak English. Um, So yeah, like so all throughout my childhood, I had like no friends because I couldn't speak English. I was like the weird child. Like I was the only brown Indian girl in the whole school. Because it was like a Catholic school. But yeah, I was like the only Indian girl, and I literally just not did not speak English. And so the school like tried so hard to teach me. I wouldn't have learned English otherwise. I wouldn't have learned English if I didn't. Anyway, it was hard because I only spoke Malayalam, and then when I came here, I was like, it was really hard to try and learn English, and like literally, like no one can understand what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, and they just couldn't understand my pain. Like they just, I don't know. I guess they'd had to grow up in like worse situations in India that they just couldn't understand how difficult that was as a child, just to put psychologically, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't even know why I'm on this tangent. But yeah, so I've always had like a terrible relationship with my parents. And then after university, I was like really depressed. And then I started this channel on like, on a whim. Just say that I can just prove to my parents that I was actually studying. Like, and then this became a thing, and it kind of, I wasn't doing it so that anyone was watching. It was doing it for myself so that I could prove to myself that I was studying. And I know that sounds so weird that I would stream myself on the internet so that like I don't know, so that I would just be less depressed, I guess. It was just to see that I just wanted to know how long I was studying for and what I was doing at the time I was studying because I was very angry at myself for having just failed all my exams during first year. Um, and having to like retake some tests. So I just wanted to see where I was going wrong. And at the time, I just kind of blamed it all on myself. And I just didn't see like the bigger picture of why I might have done really badly. So I like blamed myself. And then I needed proof when my parents were like basically telling me that I wasn't studying. I just wanted some sort of proof to be like, look, I've been studying for 8 hours in the library. Like I wasn't out like partying. Like I was studying very hard. So it was kind of proof as well as for me to know what I was doing in that time. Because, yeah, I just didn't get like the university experience was tough. Like, I struggled a lot more than I thought I would. Um, like, being an A star, like, top student, so just being so confused about life and this. I don't know. Anyway, but then because I started that, I don't know, slowly, like, people started subscribing, which I never thought would happen, and I'm so grateful to all you guys for subscribing and being so lovely and caring. Um, and yeah, and thank you for, like, yeah, I started on You Now because YouTube didn't I work in the library on my computer, so You Now was, like, working on my computer, and so I used to do You Now and just prove to myself I was studying because it recorded everything, and then YouTube started being able to we were able to live stream on YouTube, and then I just went on YouTube to do the live streams, not thinking that anyone would care, or I was just some girl who didn't even talk. I just used to just study, and like I didn't engage with the audience at all. I was just like studying, and yeah, and somehow I have all you beautiful people who have been so lovely and caring and nice to me for no reason, and I'm really grateful. Yeah, I wasn't even expecting one person to subscribe, but somehow you all guys subscribed, and yeah, and I met you all like through the internet. But I'm really grateful for you guys because you guys kind of helped me through depression, and you've seen me at my worst, even though I might have not said anything on those clips. Like, you've actually seen me through a lot, and I even watched myself back, and I could see just my life for like, I don't know, 4 years now? I don't know, like a long time. So, yeah. Anyway, but I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched and was really supportive. Thank you, Will, for all your lovely messages. It's been really lovely to have you in my life in this weird and wonderful way. But yeah, so now I've started working and I bought a garage. I knew that my parents would kick me out one day, so the first thing I bought after I got a job and had money is a garage, because I was like, okay, so if they kick me out again, I can at least live in a garage. Okay, I'm not gonna live in the garage because there's no toilet, running water, or electricity, but it's just like somewhere I could at least put my stuff. And so yeah, my parents have asked me to move out, and I think it's just like brought up a lot of emotions within myself, because I knew this day was going to come, because I like prepared for it. I literally bought a garage to put my stuff in because I knew that they were going to do this when I had a job, and some money, and they're just so jealous. Like, I'm furloughed, I'm not getting any money at all. Like, I'm getting really badly paid. I used to work 7 days a week, so that I just didn't have to stay home, because I don't like being at home because they're not very nice to me at home. So I used to work 7 days a week just to get away from my family. And yeah, and I knew that I kind of needed to work hard because I knew they were going to kick me out someday. So yeah, basically that's my life. I just don't even know what to say. But yeah, oh my god. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really scared. I'm worried about like moving out, but I think it's like a good step. But I just wish they didn't do it during a pandemic. I wish that my parents were considerate about my well-being a little bit. Like, who asks their daughter to move out when there's a pandemic? Like, who the fuck does that? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I get it. They've given me time till like the pandemic slows down or something. But who asks their like daughter to move out when they're furloughed? They have like no uncertainty that they have like a job at the end of the day. Like, if they did it when I have a job and I'm fine, fair enough, but I literally am furloughed, don't really know if I have a job. There's a pandemic, and they ask me to move out. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't know, but that's what's happened in my life, and I was really, really, really upset about it. So I made a video and wanted some truth on the internet about what's going on in my life. Because yeah, I don't know why, but like I do find it like really difficult to talk about my life. I don't know, because it involves other people and I'm disclosing a lot of information. So but yeah, it just makes me confused. But yeah, I just hope I get like my job back and that I can actually move out, because if I don't have a job, then I'm screwed. But yeah, I will think about, well, you like messaged about like Patreon. I can't even say it right. I don't know. They take a cut. I just feel like I just don't feel right, like starting Patreon, and I just don't feel. I don't know. But maybe I should. I should look into Patreon. Um, Thank you so much for everyone who's been there. I love you all. Yeah, sorry this is like such a really sad video, but I just needed to like speak about what was going on in my life throughout the years. Like I tried to like, I made videos trying to like talk about it in a positive way, but anyway, that's life. And you just move on. Yeah, I just need to go back to work and somehow move out in the next couple of months. But yeah, I will keep you guys updated. And I love you all, and thank you so much for all your support and love throughout all the years that you've known me. Keep updated for more videos on like the whole moving out process.